You for like the past 4 minutes.
It's technology. It is what it is. All right, everyone. So welcome. Just to give you guys an FYI, I am, oh, there goes Samantha. I am recording this session and we will be sharing this session, tonight's family meeting with everybody else that couldn't make it. But I see we have some pretty nice attendance. So thank you for joining us today. I am going to bounce the ball over to Zykia. And Samantha, can you just unmute and tell me if you're here? I
I'm
saw
here. I
you
just logged
are
in. Yeah.
awesome. So I'm gonna make you a co-host right now. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm gonna pin you and then make you a co-host. And do you guys want to share, or you want me to keep sharing the screen? That's fine. I'll share my screen. Would you like me to continue
Yeah, it's
sharing?
up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just let me know when you want the next slide. All right, guys,
Okay.
I'm going to turn you over to the directors, which will be hosting this tonight's meeting. Thank you.
And now you can see my face. All right. Did you do the introductions? I was a little late logging
No,
in.
no, we just started right now.
Okay. Well, for those of you who do not know who I am Samantha Rodriguez. I am the director at Children's Playhouse Newbold over at the Pashock location.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Why is my thing? I'm so sorry. My mute button is like has a mind of its own, but I'm Zakia. I'm the director here at New Children's Playhouse Whitman. I almost said Newman. I don't know what that is.
You want to
Um
be Newbold?
at Children's Playhouse Whitman. How are you guys this evening?
I am doing well. Well, I'm sick.
Oh, I hope you feel better.
Okay, let's get it started.
Zaki, do you want me to take this on?
Either or, I was just getting ready to go.
Okay.
So what's new? The Whitman Head Start review. We passed with flying colors. Yay!
If I could just.
Sam, did you want to comment on it? Because I know they came over to you guys.
They did. Actually, the day that they came, I had to leave early because I just got done a procedure. But the um the response that I got from everybody from the team, we did really well as well. Like we did extremely well.
So we did receive an email from the school district of Philadelphia saying that, and that email came through today, that overall all the sites really did an amazing job. And so that was really great news for us because we were worried about our scores and so on and so forth for federal review. But they did to say that Newbold and Whitman really shined in their classrooms with those class assessments. So we're really proud of our team, um, that they were able to. This is our first federal review, so we didn't know what to expect. We always heard horror stories, but it wasn't as horrible as they said. So
Yeah, I mean, I just basically just told the team like just act as natural, do what you guys do normally, and clearly we do a good job normally if they were acting natural. So
absolutely, because everybody was really nervous again when you're getting assessed and observed, and you have strangers in with suits on in your classrooms. And I just told the team, just do what you do every single day.
Mhm.
We want you to see them, for them to see us at, at our everyday routines and whatever that is. If a kid is throwing a chair, let them see that, and because they're really looking for how we respond, right? Kid needs a hug, then you hug that child. You're not going to tell that child no because we're being reviewed. You just go through every day. And if there's any correction plans, and obviously we will do that. So, yeah, I'm really, really proud of them, of our whole entire team. They did a really amazing job.
We had our first family focus group last Wednesday, where we invited our councilman Mark Squilla, as well as a representative from Elizabeth Fiedler's office, Hugo. So the family focus group, we discussed like different family and parent concerns. in the area, in the neighborhood, with the schools, in the community in which we live in and your children go to school in, you had an opportunity to kind of voice those opinions and or those concerns. And we kind of put some plans in place to kind of correct the actions or the problems that were presented. So I can't remember the exact date for the next family focus group. Sam, do you have it? I know is it in January or February? I think it's February 7th.
I believe so. It is in January. I do want to go back to our family focus group and talk about a little of the things that we discussed. We did discuss about the safety of our children crossing the street. So I know that around the Whitman area location, they're going to provide little speed bumps so that way cars are not flying by when their children are coming in. We did discuss a park. I know they're doing a renovation at Murphy, right?
Yes.
Murphy. They did discuss about that. I don't remember the outcome of that one though.
I believe he said they should be finished at the end of this month.
The end of this month?
Yeah, I believe it was the end of this month, January. Everything should be completed according to Mr. Squilla.
Yeah. Uh, we'll celebrate that when we see that happen. 'Cause I know this project has
Right.
been quite some time. So yeah, we'll keep you guys posted on what's happening for the Whitman Park. One great thing that some of our families talked about the safety of the children walking in, especially now that it's really like dark outside. We and police presence, right? So Mark Squilla's office, Councilman Squilla's office is working on creating a roll book where the police officers have to come in and sign that roll book. So we'll be like one of the designated sites that they must come in twice a day to sign, just to have more police, like an increase of police presence in front of our center. And this is going to be at the Whitman location. We did talk about a little bit about the Newbold location, and he said to contact the office and really talk about that. He did talk about, they have been very intentional about the cleanup right on Broad Street, right in front of, I believe it's the Verizon building, sorry. So they are sending folks over, as they see them, and they're in contact with the Verizon folks over there to, try to hold them accountable to keeping their front clean. So people are not loitering in front of their building. So I believe it was a huge win. I didn't mean to jump in, guys, but I wanted to say, like, focusing on our first family in person, because we haven't had that since COVID. Was really amazing. We were a small group, but it was a powerful group. They really discussed many things, and it was really nice to see the councilman there. And in addition to the councilman, it was nice to see families actually really expressing their voicing, right, their advocacy efforts, and it's keeping the streets safe. And they talked about the park, and they talked about how dirty the parks are. They really talked about like the needles on the floor and children coming in. So it was nice to have that safe space to be able to open up conversations. And we did get an outcome out of it. So that was really great. We're looking forward to January and to seeing those speed bumps in front of our, they called street commerce for some reason. I don't know what they called it, but
Yeah, 'cause they're not like speed bumps. It's like a big, large, like big hill type of thing.
yeah, street
Called, but
commerce or something like
yeah.
that. But nevertheless, because of some families shared that, um, there were some children that almost got hit by vehicles from people just crossing the street like really crazily and driving. So it was a really good meeting.
Meeting, yeah. So going back to Newbold's encampment on the corner, we do have a clinical outreach risk assessor who comes out weekly to check in on us and things like that. I haven't seen him this week. I'm hoping I'll probably see him maybe tomorrow or Friday, because I know that there's still people in our corner right now. But we do have that in rotation as well. He's from the city of the Philadelphia department.
I'm wondering if you could call him like when you see.
I have his business card.
Yeah. So maybe sharing that with the family. I know our families in Newbold are really good about getting on the horn immediately. You know what I mean? So that really works. It's much better this year than what it was last year. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Okay. What's next?
It's like, do you want me to talk or do you want to talk? Transition and staff is kind of tricky.
You can go ahead, Sam.
So I know over at my location, I am losing a staff member due to a new position. So I am currently looking for a pre-K counts teacher and another staff member that I haven't heard from for the past 3 days. I'm not sure what's up with that person, but as of right now, I'm looking to replace that person as well.
And here at the Whitman location, I am losing one of my pre-K teachers to for having to deal with some personal issues. And in my Busy Bees classroom, we had a couple of transitions where one assistant teacher left to move. We hired a new assistant teacher. That assistant teacher, right before being hired, had a family issue and decided to, of course, take care of their family member opposed to working, or couldn't commit to working. And now we've just recently hired Miss Melinda, who is amazing in our Busy Bees classroom, and we anticipate keeping her around for a very long time.
I also feel like so I know I just want to be very transparent here, Sam, and I think it's a really good time, Zykia, for you to mention the classrooms that will be affected.
So the teacher that will be leaving as of this Friday, that is my Tiny Tigers classroom. So that's Miss Stephanie Rodriguez. She'll be transitioning to, she's actually going to, well, I don't want to share, but she's going to be leaving soon in the Tiny Tigers classroom. And then I just explained about the Busy Bees classroom transition.
Okay, so Newbold, our pre-K counts classroom is Mighty Ducks. So even though we're really sad to hear that Mr. Kyrie is leaving us, we're also excited that he has taken on a better career. Well, not a better career because we're the best. However, but another job opportunity that would benefit him more than here, I guess. I don't really know. But our other classroom that will be affected is the Panda Bears classroom. I haven't really heard from Miss Stephanie for the past 3 days. She hasn't been feeling well, but I haven't had any contact with her. So I'm not sure what's going on with her at the moment. But those are the two classrooms so far.
Okay. I want to leave this space open to see if anyone has any questions, because I know this is a lot. We weren't anticipating losing, we usually lose 1 or 2, and not 3 teachers all in one shot. So just wanted to see and open up the floor for the families to see if anyone has any questions or any comments. Okay, so I don't see any questions. I don't see anything in the chat. I'm not sure if you guys do. Just give it another minute. All right. Go ahead, Samantha.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. My thing goes from touchscreen to regular keyboard, so good, you can, oh, the new preschool schedules. I'm sorry, I was about to skip over that. Can I share my screen real quick if you don't mind?
I'm sorry, Sam, I have it on the next screen, next slide anyway.
Oh, you already added it? All right, cool.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I did meet briefly with my pre-K team, well, in general, my whole entire staff team, and because I wanted to get the infant toddler input as well, because sometimes they do cover for preschool. This is the schedule that they chose. We had 2 options. This was Schedule A and Schedule B. My New World people decided that Schedule A it benefits us more than Schedule B would. So how this would look would be at nap time from 12:15 to 1:15, all the assistants will go on lunch break and the admins and additional staff will go in and cover for the lead teachers as well. So that way by 2:30, everyone is back. The kids can, have aftercare, and there's no napping during aftercare, and the preschool teachers are able to do their actual prep time.
And so, piggybacking off of what Samantha said, so for the last few family meetings that we have had, we did listen to a lot of the parent suggestions about the nap time being like later in the afternoon and it kind of disrupting the flow of like what happens at home. So we tried to figure out a way to kind of put nap rest in the middle of the day to combat that. So
Yeah.
I also met with my preschool team to decide, which would work best for their classroom, their group, their children, since they, spend so much time with them, they know them now. So Whitman happened to choose Schedule B, which is very similar to Newbold's schedule. It's just that our nap time our rest time rather is from 12 to 1. And then immediately following that, they would go into a second small group and limited choice time. And then second step, which is the social emotional component, then a snack, a roundup or review of the day, and then it would go to dismissal. And then for our aftercare children, 2:30 to 3:30, that has an additional schedule. So now our aftercare would no longer have that rest time unless of course the child is tired or showing signs that they would like to lay down, but that rest time in the afternoon is no longer there.
I want to add that this was done very intentionally based off of what the family's feedback were. I know there were some concerns, and I know there were some families coming to us and saying, the children are napping too long, and when they get home, they're not tired, right? So their nap schedules or their sleep schedules or whatever schedule in the evenings, when they get home, it's a little chaotic, right? Or maybe not as what you guys wanted. So we went back to these schedules were pre-COVID schedules that we used to have before the world of COVID. And as we're returning back from COVID, now here's the kicker. I approved these schedules to happen over the school district, meaning that the school district does not want children laying down or anything like that. But my staff, my teachers are burned out. They need to eat. We are having an issue where folks, some families are arriving after 2:30. So typically, like prior to us changing the schedule, from September to December, our teachers would eat, their lunch schedules will be at 2:30. And then we bumped into issues where families were coming in with late pickups for those children that were supposed to be picked up at 2:30. So sometimes they don't get to go even eat or anything like that until 3 o'clock. In a beautiful world, that would have worked, right? Like a school district model, if we would have had buffers, if we would have had people in during the course of the day, some support staff to kind of give them 15 minutes so they can get a breather, right? Or give them 5 minutes to go to the bathroom or bathroom breaks or so and so forth, or maybe even to take a call or just a mental health moment, right? However, with the shortages of staffing, that has been very, very difficult. So I've noticed the toll on that's been taken on the teachers as well. So we decided to go ahead and go back to pre-pandemic scheduling. I did contact the school district and I said, we're going to have to talk about this. They said, well, you're going to have to come up with a plan because this and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, it's either my teachers or your schedule. So I'm going to choose my staff because if I close the doors and we don't have staff, then there goes your Head Start Pre-Accounts PHL program, right? Then I'm going to have to close classrooms. So I'm going to have to do best. And plus, this doesn't work for my families. Most of my families, this snap schedule during the evening. And some of the children just require the rest. So I'm going to open the door. I'm going to open up the floor for any comments. I see some in the chat. I didn't see anything, but if you guys want to mute, it's a small group. You guys could mute. Yes, Nebo still has that. Right. Do you guys feel, what do you guys feel about the SNAP schedule during the course of the day for those preschool people? Do you think your children will benefit from this, or you think you'll be able to get them back into a schedule in the evening because they're not sleeping during the evening for those aftercare children?
Hi, Mr. Maris. This is Miss Sophia. How are you guys this evening?
Hey,
Um,
hello.
I'm in the Busy Bees at Whitman. I see a couple of my parents on here. Good evening. I think this schedule is amazing. I love it. I've noticed that a lot of our kids, when they get to that time, they are so exhausted. They can't even stay woke for a read out loud or whatever, you know. So I feel like you allowing the kids to kind of lead and follow their, you know, follow how their bodies work, you know, and being that true um uh, what you call it? I'm losing my train of thought. Just basically really knowing how kids are, that they need, you know, rest time is just as important midday. And it also gives us as teachers a mental break. We need that. It helps. It really does because, you know, this age group sometimes come with a lot of, you know, different emotions, personalities, different things like that, home life. So I feel like it's a great thing that you're doing across the board, if I may say.
Thank you so much, Sophia, for sharing. That's from a
Absolutely.
teacher's perspective. I didn't pay her to say that, guys. I did see a comment. Thank you so much, Sophia. I did see a comment. Did you replace, do you have a replacement lined up for Mr. Curry yet? No. So we did, and that fell through. So it's really difficult for the pre-K counts classrooms versus other classrooms because that classroom requires a certified teacher. And so at this time, um, certified teachers are really hard to get in January, right? And that's number one. Number two, the school district offered one of my teachers $65,000 to start. We can't touch that. We can't touch it. So most of the times this happens. This is a very norm. They come to us, we support them, we fund the certification process, and then they leave, right? So we are the pipeline directly to the school district. And because of the school district has a very uh, a very big, you know, ambitious plan with money that we don't have to, you know, to get their classrooms and their teachers in classrooms still. It's difficult to compete with them. So needless to say, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go through all of that. No, we have not. We're still looking for a replacement. We have, you know, subbing options for the meantime, and coming up with strategies like, you know, reinventing the wheel as we always have, to try to figure that out.
So I have a side message from Gabriel Short's mom. It says, "Hi, what would happen after 2:30? Will they continue to play with their regular classroom teacher?" So the answer is yes. We do have a schedule after 2:30 that the kids will either go outside for an hour or do a read aloud. It really depends on the schedule that we create. But they will still have the same teachers that they have now.
Yes, yes. Um, and Lee, I do see yours, and absolutely. Um, so yes, and I'm envisioning that, but they will still have the opportunity to rest in the evening, like in the aftercare if she's in aftercare, during the aftercare hours, because they do have like a yoga type of rest time, but they're not, you know, it's not going to be, hey, we're pulling our cards, hey, you're going to lay down, you know, so teachers can get, I think the hardest part was getting the teachers out to eat, right? And
Okay.
sometimes that happened from, you know, from early in the morning as teachers come in, let's just suppose they walk in at 8 o'clock or 8:30. Sometimes that happened 3:30, as late as 3:30, and it was just too much for them. Yeah, so definitely. I don't have the schedule for the aftercare, and I should have put it on these
I
slides. And I'm
do
sorry.
have it. I could see if I could find one real quick. I do
Yeah.
have it.
Sam, if you can share that in the chat box, and I should have, I'm sorry, I didn't put this in the slides, guys. That would be great. And again, if you guys know anybody right now, for the remaining of the school year, we want to bang it out with the kids. It's not the kids' fault of all these transitions with teachers. Uh, yeah, yeah, just let us know. We're looking for a sub. At this point, we were approved for a non-certified teacher, but they have to have like a bachelor's degree to come in. So we are looking, actively seeking someone with a bachelor's degree.
Now, before I send this aftercare spot schedule, it needs to be modified because this has the departure till 6 p.m. So just know that after a certain time, it's not accurate, but it would look something similar to this that I just put in the chat.
Thank you. And once it's finalized, again, we will share. We'll share that before Friday. Is that okay, guys? Can I say that? Zykia and Samantha?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth and then you guys.
Okay, you're
Okay,
fine.
so if you guys can share that, like the updated preschool aftercare schedule with them with all the activities and everything, that would be great, and have that for everybody because we didn't finalize that. All right, are there any other questions about schedules before we move forward? Okay, great. I'm bouncing the ball back to you guys, sorry. Do you want me to continue or
I thought Marcelino was
Marcelino? I'm sorry.
Yes, hello, I'm here.
Hi, Marcelino.
Yeah, hi. We have to talk about the CCW subsidy or LRC one, like before CCIS. If you are working or seeking employment and meet in the income eligibility and want help in funding your childcare, come join us for on Wednesday, January 10th from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. For I can bring you assistant in the application and you can receive a little orientation about that. Everybody is welcome. If you have job or you're looking for a job and you need childcare, we can help you. If your neighbor need it, you can send them. January 10th, 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you. Walk-ins is accepted too, and everybody's welcome.
Thank you, Marcelino. Thank you. So
You're
for the CCW subsidy application, I don't know if you guys know that their office is on Welsh Street. I think that's North Philadelphia. So it's really hard to get
Northeast.
Northeast. Thank you,
Yeah,
Marcelino. Thank you. It's really hard to get there. So we've been doing internal CCIS application processing. It's formerly known as CCIS, CCW. ELRC application processing. So we support, folks with maybe some translation or maybe help filling out the paperwork that's needed, making copies for them. So they do request, proof of income, or if you're looking for actively seeking for a job, they're going to ask some other questions. And obviously, information about your household and so on and so forth. So we can make, these are the things that we can help you. We can help you with the application. We can help you make the copies. We can submit it for you. The only thing is that when they respond back, it's you. They're going to respond directly to you, and then you can come into the office and we will help you, with the response as well. So we do a lot of hand holding with the ELRC application processing because there is absolutely no wait list. And there's a lot of families that do qualify and don't know they qualify or don't have access. So this is a way for us to remove access for it. The reason we do it in January, we're going to do another one in February, another one in March, is because, June is coming right around the corner, and then summer comes, and then, there are people wait to the last minute. They're like, what will we do with our kids during the summer? We still have to go to work and so on and so forth. So if they, I know a lot of like the free programs with the Parks and Recreation, they're up to like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Some of them are 3. It really depends, and some of them really fill up really fast. So, we do do the summer camp, and it's a 10-hour summer camp. So as we are getting ready for that summer camp, and we're getting ready for the end of the school year. Can you believe it already? We're getting ready for the end of the school year. We want to make sure that everybody that is enrolled in our program, or maybe your neighbor, relative, friend, whatever, that's in South Philadelphia, don't have to go to Northeast, all the way to Northeast to do the application. So we hope that you guys can join, and please share this wonderful opportunity with everybody. Awesome. I'm gonna do this as well, Marcelino. So one of the things help us keep our Head Start slot. So apart from the staffing issues that we are facing, and enrollment issues as well for this, especially for the Head Start classrooms. So the feds are looking at our enrollment across Philadelphia. And because, a lot of children are in PHL pre-K right now, and the PHL pre-K program, exists now, the Head Start slots are lesser than what they were. So at the beginning of this year, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, our pre-K count slots were taken away. Most of it was like 185 or 100. Don't quote me on the number, but I know it was in 180s. Were taken away. So they took away 100 something, 80 slots, pre-K count slots from Philadelphia. And that really hurt. That hurt a lot. A lot of providers were, those slots were pulled out of their budgets, out of their programs, because they weren't filled. And we were lucky enough to keep our slots. We were lucky enough to remain, keep our enrollments. For the Head Start component, the feds are talking about doing the same thing as well. So, it's a competition between PHL pre-K and Head Start and feds and city, and it's a whole bunch of stuff. But we want to keep our slots, because our slots are what fund us. Our slots is what pays our bills and what pays our teachers, and what continues our mission in our children's playhouse. So if you know any children that are 3 years old by December 31st, if you notice that date changed, before it used to be September 1st, this is only for Head Start. So if you know any children that turn 3 years old and they're eligible for Head Start, because it is an income guideline, then reach out to us, let us know. We have slots. We have, just for those of you that don't know, we have one entire classroom that is closed since September at Whitman. That is hurting our budgets. So just, we're trying to really be strategic in getting these enrollments back up, now, especially with staffing leaving, we're being thrown through the hoop here. So if you guys could share this, we would really appreciate it. And again, if you know anybody that has children that are 3 or going to be 3 by December 31st, they can come to us. And this is going to be ongoing even for next year. Before we go into the next slide, I also want to say, and I didn't throw this in there, that we have our PHL pre-K application processing. So this is how we apply for PHL pre-K. We have to apply every year. So it's not guaranteed that we have slots, every year. Last year, prior to COVID, we had 60 slots of PHL pre-K in Whitman. And then post-COVID, they gave us 40, right? So they took away 20 slots. That's why we have a classroom that's not open right now. This year, I don't know what's happening. They oversaturate, slots are oversaturated in certain areas. They're focusing on other areas. So I don't know. I mean, we're going to throw in the application, because that's what we do. We have to throw in the application. But just to let you know, it's really hard to balance a budget when, if a slot is not filled, we don't get paid. And also, we don't know what's going to happen in September, right? Because we don't know how many slots we have. It's a very confusing way to do it. And the only reason I keep it is because I love an equitable system. I love diversity and funding streams. So again, if you know anybody, please help us keep our slots, not only Head Start, but definitely pre-K counts or PHL pre-K. And those applications for those pre-registration, because I'm not allowed to do applications yet, are going to go out probably the end of January. So you're going to have, everybody's going to receive a link. It's going to be personal just to our in-person, like our people that are currently enrolled, because you get slot preference first. If you choose to take another, your child to another center, please let us know that. No hard feelings. We're okay with that, right? But we just need to know so we can allow, the opportunity for somebody else. Last year, we thought we were going to have 180 slots filled, right? And we ended up, and everything was good to go for September. And by the beginning of September, we had 100 and I think it was like 50 slots, 58 slots. And although, people hold slots, because they want to apply for this and see if they could get into a certain school, but that really, really damages our
Only a little bit left.
our childcare, our budgeting, right? Because now we don't know how much money we have, and then we have to play around with our budgets. So any questions? I see something in the chat. Oh, Marcelino put a Google Docs. Thanks, Marcelino. All right. All right. Next one, Zykia.
Yes, so our school age aftercare will be returning to Whitman at some point in January, hopefully. We're currently looking to staff for it. So currently at the moment, we will be, the plan is to pick up from schools, Taggart Elementary for now, as well as Fell, and possibly Mastery Charter. Those things are not set in stone. We're just trying to map it out so that it works for not only the children, the staffing, as well as the center. So if you have anybody or know anyone who attends any of those schools and is looking for school age aftercare, from kindergarten until age 12, I believe that's what, fifth grade, sixth grade,
Yes.
sixth grade?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
sixth grade. I think it's sixth grade, which is 12 years old. Please, you can let me know so that we can start to compile a potential enrollment list. And so we know like how much interest we have to know how to staff.
Thank you, thank you. And Marcelino will send out a flyer as soon as he has his completed. And yeah, we'll let you guys know what's going on. So this is exciting. I need to see my school age kids back. Again, this is post-pandemic. We haven't seen our school age children back. So we're trying to really desperately bring back the services that we provided prior. Sam and Zakia, I think you guys kind of touched that already. Do you want me to move on?
Yeah, I think you should change Newbold fully staffed though, because we're not fully staffed.
Yeah, it was. Guys, we held it down. We held it down. I mean, not for nothing. I know this is not great news that we're losing staff, right? But we did the good news. I always look at the cup halfway full. I want to say that we held it down, and I want to applaud my directors, my admins for really trying their very best to keep some type of continuity of care, right? Especially in these challenging times. But yeah, they were fully staffed. This was last month's slide. They were fully staffed until this month. So congratulations on that. And I'm
One
pretty
thing I do
sure.
want to catch up on that the staff for November, everyone was here. Like everyone was in attendance. So I was really, really proud of them for that month.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I can give a little update on Fairhill. So the goal was to put January 5th, and because of LNI, it really backed up. LNI really backed up our opening plan. So we're not looking to open up Fairhill until sometime in March or April. So definitely we're looking to hopefully do a summer camp. We're still trying to strategically plan for Fairhill. But we do have we have a lot of people really interested in going to Fairhill to go to work on Fairhill, which is great. But at this point, we're just on hold right now due to LNI, right? So whenever it took 3 months just for them to give me a permit. So it's really crazy in LNI world right now. So we'll keep you updated on the actual opening day. ribbon cutting, and hopefully you guys can come in and come see our new program, come help us celebrate our new program. Crazy me, right? Opening up a new program during these crazy times. So. Yeah. All right. Enrollment updates?
We're pretty good over here. What Newbold has literally like one slot left for, I think it's Head Start or Big Accounts. I can't remember.
Awesome. Whitman?
So Whitman, I think we have about 7 or 8 pre-K slots left. A few Head Start, a few PHL, and we have 3 pre-K counts. As far as the infant toddlers go, we have no more room for infants currently. We have 1 slot in our young toddler classroom and 1 slot in our old toddler
Thank you. And of course, Fairhill, you guys know there's nothing happening there. Although we have a wait list, which was
Yeah.
pretty interesting to see a wait list in Fairhill. I think I had some families that are moving to that section. And then once folks started hearing that we were opening there, word of mouth got around, and we do have like a little wait list there going. So I'm really excited about that.
I've been getting a lot of phone calls for Fair Hill so far.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Upcoming reminders. Who wants to share that? Okay, I'll share.
I'll share.
Okay, good.
I said I can do it and then muted myself.
Oh,
God
I
bless
just-
me. Do you want me to?
So the upcoming, okay.
I'm sorry, Zakia.
No, so the upcoming reminders for January. Of course, we have we'll be celebrating or observing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day on January the 15th. But we also, oh, wait a minute, I'm going backwards. January 12th, we have an early dismissal for all classrooms, and on
why
January
does that
12th,
say Thanksgiving Day and the day after?
I was
Okay,
I was
January 12th.
January 12th, we have an early dismissal at 12 p.m. Aftercare will not be provided. We have a PD for staff. And the following Monday, January 15th, we'll be observing Dr. Martin Luther King Day.
Okay, let's talk
My
about the
favorite
fun stuff.
Yes, my favorite part is Friday, January 26th, we'll be hosting a winter ball here at the Whitman location. Last school year, I believe it was in April, I think it was, we had what we call the spring mix from 6 to 8, and it is a fundraiser to go toward end of the year activities. And so what it is it's an opportunity for parents to drop their kids off at 6 o'clock, pick them up at 8 p.m., have their time to do whatever it is that you choose. We'll have music, food, games, and activities for the children to be able to engage with or have fun with. It was a really good turnout last year. Last school year, it was really fun. And so we're looking forward to the Winter Ball, which is Friday, January 26th.
So last year I do know, I was outside watching the families and they had play dates. The families were having adult time, and it was really a magical moment to watch that happen. And the kids were having such a great time. And we had some parent volunteers. The kids are really busy. So this year it was our first time doing it last year. So we were ready for them this year. So I know that it is going to happen in Whitman because they have a bigger room. So we're going to utilize 4 big rooms. So one of them, I believe Sophia had mentioned she wanted to do a winter neon party. So every classroom is going to be transformed, and the children get to go around to every classroom and party in each classroom for the 2 hours that they're there. Like the food is going to be somewhere. They're going to have a selfie room. So the one of the rooms is going to be turned into a selfie classroom where they could take pictures with their friends and do all the silly pictures and stuff like that. The other classroom is going to be the neon. I can't even remember what you guys called it, but it was like the neon winter ball dance room or something like that. And then the other classroom. But anyway, every classroom is going to have a theme. So we welcome any families to come in. We're going to send out in January, not today, but we're going to send out an invitation if you want to come help us plan, come help the teachers plan for that. If you just want to come and plan and then leave to enjoy your 2 hours, that's fine too. This is a fundraiser, so whatever we make is going towards the end of the winter. It's going for the end of the year party that we usually do for all the kids, and we really celebrate them. None of these funds stay with us, so just know that we usually do that. We usually also pay off like some of the cap and gowns if we have enough funding for that towards the end of the year, so that way we could really make it magical and celebrate the children as they deserve. So any questions or any suggestions or any excitement about I think I'm just excited about this one too. Thank you. When will you get out signups to bring things and volunteer? Oh, I'm thinking Danielle, I'm thinking about after I get out of this cold that I have, and I can think functionally. I'm actually forgetting things because my body's asking for rest. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Okay. Any other suggestions? Guys, you should have been a lot more excited about this 2 hours. Oh, there you go. I got an excitement in here. I'm so excited about the winter ball last year. Spring Mist was fun. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. But those of you that missed last year's spring mix, you don't want to miss the winter ball. It was really fun. Kids had an amazing time. We were some exhausted adults. It was harder keeping the kids entertained in 2 hours because they were so excited than it was like having them the whole entire day in school. It was just so crazy. But this year, like I said, we're ready. We had a whole meeting about it already with the teachers. They planned out wonderful activities to keep them busy. So yeah. All right. And this is the open floor. We have like about 11 minutes. If anybody has any questions, any suggestions, anything else you guys want to bring to the plate? Again, I want to invite you guys. This is an open space. Bring your stuff to the table. You're not offending anybody. We do actually listen. We do plan. We're like, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? It's not a complaint session. We really want to hear your voices and how we can improve. And I would love to open up the last. Listen, if you guys have any suggestion and staff recruitment strategies, now is the time for you guys, because I'll be working while everybody's off next week. I will be working on staff recruitment plans. Yes, Danny.
I just want to say that I am appreciative of the transparency of what's going on in the classroom. I think it's important when there's changes with staffing or whatever that most of the time are out of your control.
Yeah.
That the parents know about it, right? Because we come in and we do notice that someone's gone and kind of like wonder, oh, are they, I assume they're not on vacation because that's a luxury that most of us can't afford. But
Yeah.
I just appreciate the transparency with being honest about, like, we haven't heard from them in days. Unfortunately, this is the situation we're in. Like, it's important that we do actually hear those details. So thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. It's very important. Prior to the meeting, when I talk to the admins and I'm like, okay, I need you to say this at this meeting. And they're like, oh, because they feel guilty, right? And I'm like, this is the world we live in. Well, you can't feel guilty for someone walking off and not responding, right? These are things that are out of our hand, and I need you. If anything, I'm going to bring to the plate is transparency, and I'm glad and I'm happy that you recognize that, because we can't lie. Like, what are we lying about? Staffing shortages? The world is going through staffing shortages, right? What makes us any different? So I appreciate you recognizing that. Thank you.
I think for me, what it was is that I felt like, that we weren't allowed, like I wasn't allowed to say names, which is why I was like this person. But like, if it was like a parent coming up to me separately, I would have told them transparency. Like, but I don't know. I just thought that, I don't know. I think I'm just so used to like when you read an incident report and you'd be like, the other child hit this child.
Yeah.
Something like that,
appreciate that. We're not really saying anything private. We're saying what it is, right?
Yeah.
You know, we haven't heard from the person. You know, it's no reason why not. You know, the other folks that are leaving. You know, one of them obviously he just graduated, and we are celebrating him because he's been with us for 2 years. And Mr. Curry, and he really worked hard on his master's. He got his certification. You know, I was hoping for him to stay until the end of the year. That would have been great, but you know, it is what it is at this point. You know, I can't keep people if another organization is paying them a lot more, right? With certification. That's the world we live in. So
Yeah. Very competitive.
yeah. And that's why it's so important for advocacy component, right? Um, right. So this is why I beg my families, please advocate. You know, text the governor and tell him to invest. You know, we're looking for $16 billion in childcare. Um, raise your voices because you know we fought really hard to not be one of those sites, as you guys see. You know, you guys have read the news and or see the news and everything and all the updates in childcare. It's everywhere. But we fought really hard to be one of those sites that enclose our classrooms for having staff in there. We were pretty good. Mid-year, it's almost impossible to get people, right? So we started recruiting for staff in April for September. That's why it went a little bit better, right, with the recruitment plans. And we were really strategic about those recruitment plans, right? All these marketing, different techniques, these videos, this, that. I spent so much money on Indeed. I can't even begin to. I could have staffed 4 people in Indeed with the money that we paid out Indeed. You know, so we were pretty good. Again, mid-year, we're gonna see how this rolls, because at this point, if people are leaving their organizations mid-year, I'm going to question that. Are they a good fit for our organization, right? Because I just don't want to put anybody in a classroom, right? I'm responsible for 278 children. And I want to make sure 278 children are not, we hear so many horror stories. It's really hard when you running a big organization and you have people come in and transitions, and it takes a lot. It takes a lot. And for those of you that don't know, my directors will attest to this. When new staff come in, we don't leave them alone in the classroom. So that takes a lot. That takes a lot. And so we are comfortable with them being left alone in a classroom, you know, and we have cameras and we have all that stuff, but it's just, I'm a mom and I think of me being a mom first, right? So yeah.
We basically see your kids as our kids. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. I never want somebody, I don't want to be the person on news. And I see some hands raised, so you can go ahead and just unmute. We're in easy going.
Oh, Kate, you're still muted.
I was trying to figure it out because I'm on Sean's phone. Hi. Yeah, I guess I have just questions about like the current day-to-day plan for the room that doesn't have as many teachers as originally. And then also like what support, because I guess when we went through this before, it felt like the person who was left, like the person who stayed, that they need like a lot of extra support, right? The person who's still there. So I would hope that like to hear a little bit about like how Miss Georgia will get that support, what it's going to look like for her, so that it doesn't all like, you know, crash down on her shoulders.
Yeah.
And I heard from Max that Mr. Edward is in the room. So there's some familiar faces, but I guess, you know, want to make sure that I understand like who's going to be with the kids at 8:30, who's going to be with the kids, or to some extent that there's like that's all smoothed away, because I don't know that that was so smooth this week. And so, yeah.
I know I did speak with Miss Georgia a little bit, and she is already like on board jumping in as lead full time. She's choosing her assistant, because I want her to feel comfortable with whoever she works with. So in the case of like I'm doing interviews, I'm inviting her to do the interviews with me. It's not just me myself. Because again, I want her to feel comfortable. I need to know that she's okay working with somebody that we're hiring on board. We also have a list of staff who's already here that she's been requesting. But I'm like, all right, let's talk about this because I need to discuss staffing plan with the mayors first. But we'll talk about this. So me and Georgia are very communicative. I don't even know if that's a word, but we're communicating very frequently.
So, and another thing as well. So I'm just going to say Georgia chose Mr. Edward, and here's my dilemma. Mr. Edward is amazing. We love him. He just finished the CDA program. He's like a go-getter. The kids love him. Families love him. But Mr. Edward was in our tadpoles classroom, and for a very long time, here goes my transparency again. We had such a horrible experience with that tadpole classroom. This is the only time since post-pandemic that that tadpoles classroom is consistent. The children are happy, the families are happy, the teachers are doing their thing, they're rock and rolling with those little 1-year-olds. And when Georgia asked for Edward, of course he would, because Edward's amazing. Everybody wants Edward, but um, I don't want to burn out a fire in one room and create a fire in another. So that's the reason why I suggested, Samantha, you have to bring Georgia into this interview process, right? And allow her to see other folks, because my answer was no to Edward. Because I can't burn out one fire to start another one in another room. It just makes no sense to me. So that's what's happening. As far as Edward is concerned, right? In the meantime, we do have Samantha was very strategic about in overstaffing. So we do have, I had to tell her,
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
stop hiring. So she overstaffed. And so our staffers already are vetted in. So for the past 60 days, we've had like support staff, new people coming in. We got a new kitchen person. We got, so she's very overstaffed in the event of, because something that historically happens in December is that we lose teachers in January, right? They don't want to come back after the holiday, whatever. So we were ready for that. We weren't ready for two. We were ready for like maybe one, but not two, right? So we have enough support staff to support Georgia in that classroom. And until she gets that. Another thing I want to say is that our strategic plan for staff recruitment was to make sure that that classroom had not one, but 3 teachers with degrees in there. So they were all co-teachers. There was no lead teacher in there, just one lead teacher in there. So first it was like Miss Stephanie, that she was a co-teacher. And then Mr. Kyle was a secondary person with a co-teacher. And then when I saw what was happening, we hired Miss Georgia, right? So I took that blow in the budget. I was like, I need that. I need this to work. And I have a funny feeling. And that funny feeling came to reality, right? Here we are today. I've been doing this for 20 years. I know who's going to stay and who's not, right? I know who's going to belong and whatever. So with that being said, Georgia was being prepared prior to, for the past few months that Georgia's been there. She's been vetted in, and she's also been taught how to do instructional teaching, the lesson plans, the social emotional component, even with our children with special needs, and how to do that. So then the buffers would be those assistant teachers, those extra people that came in to kind of support her, through that role. And also the school district of Philadelphia has a whole entire mentor team that I'm tapping into, so they can come in there and support Georgia to become successful in that classroom. So the classroom is not a classroom that does not have a teacher. I'm not really worried about that. They have a teacher. They always did. It's mostly the pre-K counts classroom that we're a little more concerned about in New Vogue.
I can say I did an observation in Georgia's room last week, and I fell in love with her teaching style. Like, she is great, and I'm so pleased by her.
Yeah. And she's also looking to get certified, guys. So, if I can keep her for another 2 years, get her certified, and she's gonna leave us in the school district. But it is what it is. But we get 2 good years in with her and really help build her to be, she's already a phenomenal person, but just to strengthen her skills as a teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate the insight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Any suggestions? Any comments? I know 6:02, so it's past our time together. I don't want to take up a lot of time from you guys. If you have anything that you want to say, this is the time. And if not, I'm just going to wish everyone here and everyone in Children's Playhouse a happy holidays, happy New Year. Please enjoy your time. You're welcome. You're welcome. And you guys have a wonderful evening. We'll stay on for like another few minutes. If you guys want to chat, I'll stop recording. My voice came back.
You needed